Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to prep a file for an icon painting in acrylic. Today I have started off by searching for John Lennon as an icon. I'm looking at some good pictures here. I'm looking usually for a color picture that might be nice to use. I'm in images. I'm going to go search tools, of course. I'm going to pick my size large because garbage in, garbage out. Now in this particular case I don't have any color pictures that are really good to use. A couple of good iconic black and white ones here that I'm looking at. I want to make sure that I don't pick somebody else's redo of somebody else's picture. I certainly don't want to pick a illustration. That's somebody else's interpretation of the image to begin with, so we want to avoid those. And if you can get a good color one, that's great. This is a good iconic graphic one here, and so is this one. I'm looking for, of course, numbers in the thousands, not the hundreds. Let's go for this particular one because I haven't seen this one before. Of course, we need to view the image in order to get the largest size, and I'm going to copy this image, pop on over into Photoshop, and I'm going to go new image. Of course, it's got the clipboard because I'm holding that in memory. There's my size. I say OK, and it pops in, and I'm going to paste that in. So there it is. Now he's in black and white already, so but sometimes when you paste in or make a new file, you'll notice that it comes in RGB, which means it's holding more information than it needs to hold than in black and white. So I'm going to go to grayscale, and I can flatten or don't flatten, doesn't really matter. Discard the color information. So that just saves me a lot of file size more than anything. Johnny here, I want to make sure that I'm in the right size. So I'm going to go image size. And here's my image size, and this is going to look a little different than what you've got on your screen because this is a newer version of Photoshop. But basically we have the same thing. We have 24 inches by 19 inches at 72 ppi, and we want to lock those together. So we're going to click off the resample image so that those three are locked together. As the size goes down, the ppi comes up. So I'm going to take this to 8 inches. Let's say 8 inches in width. That's a little small. We'll go 8 inches on the height there. So I got 8 by 10. It's a horizontal. And now I'm already at 175. Now, if I'm worried about the resolution, what I'll do is I'll pop this up to, say, 250 first, and allows Photoshop to do a little bit more. It makes it easier for Photoshop to replicate those extra pixels that it's putting in. I'm going to say OK to that, and then I'm going to immediately go to image size again, and this time I'm going to pop this up to the 300. So there we go. We got 8 by 10 at 300. And up it goes. And there we go. So now we have to take a look at the tonal quality on some of this. Now I'm seeing this in large. It's not that great a picture, but I'm going to start by making sure that I have a balance here in my levels. That's all nice and balanced. Again, that sort of idea of the stuff in a glass equaling each other. So I'm going to say OK to that. And now I'm going to go to my layers. Just pop this up. You can go to your panel options underneath your options menu and select the thumbnail size to be larger so that you can see it easily yourself. Now on the layers, I'm going to duplicate my current layer. I'm going to set that particular one to multiply, so I'm doubling up on the amount of content. I'm starting to get some of the tonal quality back in this white out area here in his face, but of course I've lost all of this stuff here in his hair. So I'm going to also put on a mask on that so that I can control exactly what parts of this image are duplicating on top. And I'm going to use my brush with black. I'm going to use a soft edge brush, fairly large, and I'm going to be able to paint this back out so that we get all the stuff. Now here's a trick. You see the mask side, if I go Control A for all, which selects everything, and then I Alt backspace, it fills the whole thing with black. And now what I can do is I can flip my brush to white, and then I can paint in those areas that I want to make sure that I have doubled up on that particular content. So that's an opposite way of doing it. Instead of retrieving the stuff that you've lost, you can simply paint back in those areas that need a little bit of extra texture in the painting. Okay, so now that I've got him together, I'm fine. I can simply flatten the image after I've saved it as a Photoshop in case I want to go back and make changes to it. And now that I have the image, of course, we need to adjust for the printer, which is going to add about 20%. So now we need to go back to our image adjustments levels, which is Control L, and I'm going to take that up by a good 1.5 or so. I'm not going to go much higher than 1.5. I'm just going to lighten that all up by 30%, so that 20 to 30%, so that when it prints darker, I get what I was looking at before. I say OK to that, and I'm done, ready to save. And that is all for today.